All right, happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Trump was dealt another legal loss in the high-profile detention of a Columbia student activist. This is the case of Mahmoud Khalil. The Trump administration lost in court again after a judge ruled Wednesday that Mahmoud Khalil, who has been detained in Louisiana for something like the last 3 months, a judge ruled Wednesday that he must be allowed to meet with his lawyer and his wife. His wife gave birth to their first child while he has been in custody. The government refused to let him out to be present for the birth of their first child. Now, let's talk about what Mahmoud Khalil is charged with criminally. Nothing. He was a pro-Palestinian activist while he was a student at Columbia University last year. He is no longer a student at Columbia University, but he was arrested and has been detained pending deportation, cancellation of his visa. His wife is a U.S. citizen. Their child is a U.S. citizen. And the allegations from Trump and the Trump administration and all of the blowhard, fart-huffing MAGA chuds on the right is that everyone who protests in favor of Palestinian civilians must therefore also be either a member of Hamas, a supporter of Hamas, a terrorist, or a supporter of terrorist networks, none of which can be said about Mahmoud Khalil because he's been in federal custody for 3 months and he is charged with exactly 0 crimes. He's not charged with being a terrorist or a member of Hamas. He is not criminally charged with supporting a terrorist network or supporting Hamas. He spoke and organized protests, and he spoke about and protested things that the current Trump administration does not like. And so they arrested him, and they have held him in a federal holding facility in Louisiana for over 3 months. And during that period of time, his U.S. citizen wife, who was pregnant at the time, has given birth to their first child. The birth the government would not let him attend, because he said things this government doesn't like. And yesterday in his testimony before the Senate, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that he hopes he can find more people like Mahmoud Khalil so that he can revoke their visas, arrest them, and deport them as well, because they are saying things that little Marco Rubio doesn't like. Which reminds me, speaking of things that little Marco Rubio doesn't like, do you know why Donald Trump referred to Marco Rubio as little Marco Rubio during the 2016 Republican presidential primaries? It's because Marco Rubio allegedly has an extremely small penis. So, I would invite Marco Rubio to take me into custody and try to deport me. I was born in Mansfield, Ohio in 1968, and I can prove it. Marco, his attorneys had to go to court to get a court order so that he could meet with his attorneys, so that he could meet with his wife in person, so that he could meet in person his first child, who was born while he was in federal custody. A graduation ceremony was held yesterday at Columbia University where attendees booed and chanted "Free Mahmoud." The university's new acting president, Claire Shipman, was also heckled as she introduced the ceremony. She said, "I know that many of you feel some amount of frustration with me, and I know you feel it with the administration," she said to more jeers. "And I know that we have a strong, strong tradition of free speech at this university, unless you disagree with the Israeli government. And I am always open to feedback, which I am getting right now," she said to more boos and jeers. I will never, ever in my life forgive people who voted for this administration.